In order to enter a call, I would highly recommend you following these steps. It makes things a lot easier on you, and it also makes things more accurate and easier on my end. So let's say you have a call. In this case, it's going to be for Test National Bank. The first thing I'm going to do is wherever I am within Salesforce, I'll come up to the search bar in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm just going to start typing in the name of the branch. As you can see, a recent item pops up. If it's a customer I've seen recently, it might pop up. This can also be used to search for the name of the city, the name of the branch. For instance, I'll give you an example, Happy State Bank in Dalhart, Texas. I can type in Happy Dalhart in order to bring up the account for Happy State Bank in Dalhart. For this case, I'm going to use Test National Bank and go ahead and go into that account. Now, your account screen won't look anything like this. This is my custom account screen that's got a lot of different information. And this is all stuff that's in the background for you. But one thing that we do have in common is we have the New Service Call button. So I'm going to go ahead and click New Service Call, and we're going to go over how to enter a call. As you can see, the customer is pre-populated. Regardless of the site or wherever, this is the correct customer for this call if you searched and clicked on the right account. That's very important because it makes sure that our technicians go the right place. It makes sure that our system is as accurate as possible. The next field we're going to talk about is this customer PO field. There's a lot of larger customers that have a PO number or a work order number or a ticket number that they want associated with the call. If there's something that the customer needs associated with the call, this is the field that goes in. I'm going to go ahead and put in a random number here, and then we'll move on to the next field. The next field is equipment type, and you all have been pretty good about entering this, but I want to be very clear about how important this field is. The equipment type is what tells the system how to bill for certain types of work. For instance, an alarm labor rate might be different than an ATM labor rate. So it's very important that you choose the correct equipment type. I'm going to go ahead and click ATM. Now the issue type is narrowed down from the equipment type to be common problems. If you notice problems that aren't on here that need to be on here, please let me know and we can add those at any time. But for the meantime, please find the issue type that's most fits the issue at hand. This is really important because this allows us to run reports and to know what type of problems we're having with what type of equipment. I'm going to go ahead and put build jam, and then in my description. This description is very important also because this is what goes to the technician, and it also goes back to the customer who placed the call to let them know that this is a description of the call that needs to be fixed. And this will go to the technician. They'll be able to determine what they need or what questions they need to ask or anything like that. So this description is very important. And I'm not going to be very descriptive, but I'm just going to move on to the next thing. On this other side, you'll see the assigned to field, which you don't have to worry about at this point. Status, cancellation reason. But these three fields at the bottom with the little red marks beside them, those red marks indicate that this field is required. And I'm going to tell you why these fields are required. This is very important stuff. Okay, so the contact name, phone, and email, all of those pieces of information goes along with this service call to the technician when you dispatch the call to them. It's going to give them the name of the person that they need to talk to, the phone number of the person they need to talk to, and the contact information overall. The contact name is also very important as the service call moves through the system from service to closeout to billing. So we need to know the name of the person who placed the call all the way through that process, and this is where that name comes from. The contact email, that's also very important because it gives the system a way to notify this customer that the call has been entered and the call has been completed. It's very important that you put an accurate email address here so that they get the proper notifications. Likewise, as the technician closes out the call, there's an alternate email down here in the tech info, and this gets sent the same notifications. So if somebody who didn't place the call is the one that signs for the call at the end, this is where we would add their email address so that they get a copy. So I'm going to go ahead and put in some information. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Now that we've got a call in the system, the next step is to assign this to a technician or to dispatch the call. If you'll notice on this page, up in the upper right-hand corner of the information section, you'll see a field called Owner. And that owner will generally say something at this stage, Amarillo Q or San Antonio Q or Louisiana Q or something to that effect. What we want to do is we want to change that to be the technician. It's very important that you change it away from the queue to a technician so we can keep track of who ran what call. Even if you're a lead technician in the field or a service manager who also is in the field, you need to assign the call to yourself in order to pass it through the system properly. So I'm going to go ahead and assign this call to myself, and I'm going to hit the change link next to the owner's name, and it'll bring up this page. Now, there's several things that you can note about this page. First is this send notification email checkbox. That is irrelevant. I've overridden this box to make sure that any new owner of a call will receive an email notifying them that they have been assigned a call. The second is this drop-down menu. We've got user, queue, and customer portal user. So a user will be anybody who has a license in the system, and the queue will be any of the assigned queues. I'm going to go ahead and assign this to myself, and I can begin typing in that and then click the search, and it'll bring up users that match that name, and I'm going to click Save. By doing that, you'll notice that the owner has changed to me, and this call is now dispatched to me. Okay, now that we've got a call that is complete, you can see that we've got some information that we need to review to make sure that this is all accurate. First thing we're going to review is this technician information. The first thing I notice here is that this general repair, no parts, should actually be general repair with parts because of the description of work, where it says that there's a Hamilton send switch that was replaced. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Anything that needs to be saved will be in red there. And then I'm going to look at the description of the work, and I'm going to see, yes, there was time spent on this, and yes, there was also a part used. So now I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to review. We've got time tickets here, and you can see the time and date stamp and everything, and I can see on the 29th, 2:15 to 2:30, the service was labor because this was drive-up equipment, and I can verify, yes, that's correct. Then I can go to the parts, and I can see this part is EO601, which is the part from the description of work. It was created on this date, and the part source was this truck. I can also add parts or add time as needed by doing this. To give you an example, I'm going to add a miscellaneous charge. So if I type in miscellaneous and hit the search bar, you'll see that this pops up, and I do have a miscellaneous cleaning materials, hardware, etc. And I can click on that to add that, and click Save if I want to save it. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's just how you add one. Okay, so now we can see, I didn't save that. Now we can see that I've got everything where I need it: work done, issue cause, a description of work, as well as the time, tickets, and parts. If I were to have expenses, which would mean anything from Walmart or from a hardware store or something like that that was needed to be purchased for this particular job, The technician would enter these expenses in the field by putting the cost, description of what they purchased, and then click Save. And what that'll do is it'll add any expenses. This is where we'll put shipping charges. This is where we'll put anything that was had to be purchased from the store by the technician. Anything that's charged to their credit card can be billed to the customer. Okay, so now we'll see. I keep on doing this. Save this. Okay, now you'll see that all the information is correct. We've got our time, we've got our parts, got our description, work done is corrected, issue cause is corrected, and I'm going to go ahead and click Release to Billing. Okay, as soon as I click Release to Billing, you'll notice several things change. First of all my buttons disappear across the top. Second of all, I don't have the ability to edit any of these. Well, I don't have the ability to edit most of these things anymore. And I don't have the ability to add new time or add new parts. This is basically because this information is now being sent to the billing department, and any additions after the fact now won't be accounted for on the billing side. So that is how you review a completed call and release a completed call to billing. Okay, very quickly I want to go over list views. Now, for most of you who are in either an operations role or a service manager role, I've already created list views for you. If for some reason I have not, please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help you. But I wanted to show you very quickly 5 templates that I have that are going to help you build your own list views and do them a little bit quicker and a little bit more accurately. When you click on your list view at the top of your service call screen, you're going to notice 5 list views. There's template completed calls, template open calls, template sent to billing, template tech location, and template unassigned. I'm going to start with template unassigned just to give you just a quick review. When you click on template unassigned, it's going to bring up a page. Is probably going to bring up the same information that you're looking at right now, and that's inaccurate because it's not filtered to you yet. Now, if you'll notice up here in my list view drop-down menu, next to it I have this edit button. On your screen you won't have that. You'll have a button that says clone, and that's going to allow you to make a copy of the list view that I created and put in your own information. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, and I'll show you what it'll look like for you. Okay, for you, what you're going to see, this first step is enter view name, and you're going to be able to enter your own name, whether that be Houston unassigned or San Antonio unassigned or Louisiana unassigned, and you're going to be able to enter your own name. The second is the specify filter criteria. You shouldn't have to touch hardly any of this to get to where you need to be. The first is all service calls. That needs to stay the same. Status does not contain completed or canceled. That's going to give you all open calls. And then record type equals service call entered. That's something internal. You also don't have to touch that. And this next field is going to be the field that matters the most. This is what's going to be the field that filters it down to your particular areas. Okay, so what we're going to look at here is owner alias contains, and you're going to put in the name of your queue or characters that identify your queue. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put in San Antonio. I'm just going to put a few letters of it. I don't need enough for the system to know that that's San Antonio and not San Angelo or something like that. Then I'll put a comma and then I'll put Houston. So in this case, let's just pretend that I'm going to create a list view of San Antonio and Houston unassigned calls. So these are going to be any calls that belong to the queue at this moment. So I'm going to go ahead and click save and we'll see what we have. Okay, as you can see, I've returned all the calls that are either belong to the Houston queue and haven't been assigned or belong to the San Antonio queue. And that is how you modify the unassigned template to return the queues that belong to you. Okay, for sent to billing, open calls, and completed calls, you're going to use the same information to create those list views. I'm going to go ahead and go to completed calls, and you'll see that we have a bunch of calls whose status are complete. I'm going to go ahead and, as you would click clone, I'm going to go ahead and click edit to show you the screen. You'll rename this to whatever you want to name it for your completed calls. And then when it comes down here to alias, I'm going to add several different things. First, I'm going to add, in this case, I'm going to do Lubbock and Amarillo. So I'm going to type in LUBB for Lubbock, comma, and then AMAR for Amarillo. And you can put the whole word, you can do whatever. There's just a character limit on each of these fields, so you need to make sure that you stay within that. If you have too many things to filter by, I'm going to show you that just briefly next. So I'm going to put Lubbock, Amarillo, Chokaski, Jeff Longley, and I'm just going to put a couple technicians. And we'll click save and see what we have. Now, as you can see, I've filtered the service calls by the owner alias. And generally that owner alias is the first name, last initial. There's very few cases where that's not the case. If you have any issues with that, let me know. But for these calls, for the completed calls, you'll put the first name, last initial, comma, first name, last initial, for all of the technicians in your area. If for some reason you can't fit all of them on one line, you can add a second line, owner alias contains, and put them there. Put them on a second line, or add a third line, or add more. Here's the tricky part of that, and like I said, I'd be more than happy to help you create these list views, but if you're going to add two different lines of owner alias, you need to come down here and click this button that says add filter logic, and you're going to say 1, which is the record type, equals service call complete, 2 and 2 are both correct, and then when you get to 3 and 4, I'm going to go ahead and change this and to or and put some parentheses around that. So basically what that does is it says lines 1 and 2 are correct and either line 3 or 4 is correct. And when I save that, it's going to allow me to look at that list view. And as I said, I'd be more than happy to help you set that up. The last list view I want to show you very quickly is something that we're not utilizing yet, but it's a request that I got, and it's going to be for tech location. And you're going to do the exact same thing here when you set this up, and you're going to set up the exact same owner aliases that you do on your completed calls and your open calls and everything else. But what this is it's going to allow you to see who the technician is, and what call that they have indicated that they're en route for. And that's going to help you locate where your technicians are, or to know exactly which calls your technicians are on. That's something that's in the process, and we're working on. If you have any questions about list views, or have any questions about the information that you're seeing, whether you need to see more information or you need to see less information or more specific information, please reach out to me and shoot an email to salesforce@smithhamiltoninc.com, and I'd be more than happy to help. Thank you.